Hello everyone and welcome back to F1 22 for the 13th round of the Formula 2 season. Custom Formula 2 season. Well, we're here in Singapore then. A very difficult street circuit, but it's always a challenge I enjoy. So let's see how things go in qualifying. You can see entry to turn 1 and all throughout the first section of track. We're fully utilising the full extent of the track limits and making sure we carry as much speed through there as possible. There's a lot of time to be gained by pushing things as close to the walls as you dare. A bit of a mistake there though into the heavy braking zone, just going slightly deep, so little mistakes like that cost us time, and it did in our first run in qualifying. You can see right now we're down in 20th as we cut away and move on to the end of the lap. We are making some steady improvements on this lap, so we'll see what we can do at the end of the session as we come around towards the line, and we'll cross the line. What will our time be? Where will we sit? We're only in 16th. What a disaster in qualifying here. That isn't good enough.
The grid is all set for the race tomorrow, but before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top three, which are
Ticktum, Schwartzman and Liam Lawson.
the grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye.
What a disaster. Oscar Piastri, 10th place, so his qualifying wasn't great, but he gets reverse grid pole and will be starting first for the sprint race. So he has a great chance of hauling in massive points there compared to us. We're going to need an almighty drive in the sprint race to bring something back. And in terms of the feature race, that's going to be tough teams championship wise, because Schwartzman is right at the front and has a good chance. He's almost certainly going to outscore Sato in that race, and he has a good chance of winning, to be fair, as well, starting in P2. So Prema have a car on the front row in both races. We've got Sato starting third in the sprint race, and that'd be 8th in the feature race. We'll be starting 16th in both. So yeah, that's a tough one. Dan Ticktum gets pole though, so let's hope he can hold on for the win when we get to the feature race. But the sprint race is up first, so we'll watch out for that one. The championship is oh so tight, just 3 points in at 1 point between Sato and Schwartzman, 4 points in terms of constructors difference, so it is oh so close, and no one can afford to lose a single point. Let's get into the race and see how it unfolds.
We're moments away from lights out here at Marina Bay. A demanding circuit awaits the drivers, and they'll be hoping that all that preparation pays off with a win today. Located in the heart of Singapore's Marina Bay, this bumpy street circuit is seen as one of the most physically demanding in motorsport. It can be a particularly technical circuit to navigate, one that has proved popular with fans and drivers alike. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
Alrighty, here we are on the grid then for the sprint race here in wherever we are. Singapore. There we go. Weather will just be nighttime all the way through and no clouds, let alone rain. So thank goodness we won't have to deal with that here. That would be a guaranteed disaster. But testing whether the softer compound can go the whole race, just out of curiosity, in case that could help us out, but unfortunately it's not the case, and they won't be lasting the duration, so we'll just be using the harder of the two compounds, that being the soft tires, the super soft being the softer of the two compounds. I'm just confusing myself here, but regardless, yeah, there's no option to use the softer tire, so yeah, we'll just have to stick with the default strategy. I thought maybe, if we could grab some track position early, and then just try and hold on, we might be able to make something work there. But yeah, not going to work out for us. So we'll just stick with the softs. Let's get into it then and get this race underway. 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the sprint race. 16th position on the grid, but it's a nice start for us. We might grab a few places on the run into the first corner. Now looking down the inside, we're tight though on the inside line, and we have to let all those places go, unfortunately, and we drop back all the way into 15th position once again. So we do gain 1 off the start. We'll see if we can gain any more. We've lost a bit of time there. We'll close the gap once again though into the next right-hander and onto the big straight. Let's see what we can do here. Sitting and waiting. I don't think we're close enough to really do anything. It'll be a big dive if we try to make a move from here, but we'll see if we can do it. Down the inside of Beckman, just getting the nose in on the inside of Richard for sure, but we won't make the move there. Let's see what we can do though into the right-hander. We got the nose in around the outside, and we'll make the move on for sure. And now down the inside, we'll get it done, and that is another overtake made. So being aggressive on this opening lap's working out for us. And we've already made our way up into 13th position, so this has been an absolutely fantastic start. Next up is Teo Porcher. I don't think we're close enough to do anything crazy into this very tight left-hander, but you can see big wide line on the way in, trying to straighten things up, putting the power down now on the exit. Can we make a move on Teo Porcher? Big lunge down the inside, coming right up. We're going to go for it. Down the inside of Teo Porcher, and we'll get it done and move ourselves ahead of the Frenchman as we're still side by side with the ART driver. We'll be giving him a little bit of space on the left there as the road tightens up, but we'll get the move done and we make it through and move ourselves up into 12th, so 4 positions gained on the opening lap. This has been an absolutely fantastic start. Next up is Yuri Vips, the Estonian in the high-tech. Let's see if we can chase him down anytime soon, but at the moment we're not close enough. So it's been a very good start. We need to keep this momentum going. 11th place just up the road. Let's see what we can do as we try to push on once again. We now take a look at a replay of the start. Oscar Piastri and Enzo Fittipaldi on the front row, and it's a pretty even start by the pair of them. Who's on top? It's Fittipaldi. He's made his way into the lead from second on the grid. Great start from Fittipaldi, and he's jumped Piastri. That is absolutely perfect for us. And Sato is battling away with, I believe that's Jack Aitken behind for third. Aitken gets ahead, so not good for us. And Sato drops down. Here's the onboard with Enzo Fittipaldi. It was absolutely perfect conversion off the line. No wheel spin at all. Maybe a little bit of bogging down, but it was better than Piastri. That's all that was required. Here's the onboard with Sato. Equally a good start from him, but he got blocked in behind Piastri, who was very slow off the mark. And now down the inside comes Jack Aitken in the HWA Race Lab. And Aitken's able to make his way through. Sato drops into 4th position. So he's got some work to do to get that place back off Jack Aitken, and so does Piastri. But meanwhile, we are tucked in behind Yuri Vips. It's been a few laps, and we've moved on to lap number 5. So it's taken a while to wind up and make this move, but we'll go for the big lunge down the inside. That was very aggressive, but we get it done and make our way ahead of Yuri Vips, and that's put us up into 11th position. So we're still making our way through the field steadily, but progress definitely slowed down a little since the first lap. That was a big lunge though, but it was nice and tidy, no contact made, and we did in the end get the move done. And now as we push on further through the race, we're just finding pace. We were lacking it a little bit in the first 5 laps after that explosive first lap where we were just making overtake after overtake. But now it's starting to come back to us as we run deeper and deeper into the race. On to lap 11 now. We've got Dan Ticktum in front of us. Dan the man. Let's see if we can go down the inside. And we'll make a mega lunge. And that was incredibly optimistic, but we got it done. And the confidence is high at the moment. And we're going to continue to make overtakes as we push further into this race. Next up is Robert Schwartzman. This is for the team's championship points. We'll go around the outside and make our way ahead of Robert Schwartzman. That's critical. very important moves for us to be making here. And that's one on Robert Schwartzman. And we've got the job done there as we go a little bit wide on the next corner. Not going to slow us down too much. Now Schwartzman is under pressure, and that's put Schwartzman further away from the points. He's not in the points. We're 9th, so we're not technically in the points yet, though we do have the fastest lap, which will give us 2 bonus points so long as we remain in the top 10. But of course, the sprint race, only the top 8 score, you know, the regular position related points. So yeah, both myself and Schwartzman not in those at the moment, but we'll see what we can do as we go for a move down the inside of Liam Lawson. Big lunge, and we get it done, and now we are in the points. That is absolutely perfect for us. And oh, that is a car in the wall. That's Alessio Deletta. How has that happened? It's got smoke pouring out of the engine on the way in to the right-hander, turn 4. He just pulls off to the side and just nudges the barrier as he pulls off. So a little bit clumsy from the Italian there. A little bit of an extra repair job for HWA if the failed engine wasn't enough. We take a look at the race director as the safety car is now out for that little incident. Fittipaldi has dropped from the lead to 5th. What has happened to Fittipaldi? Dropping 4 places in the opening half of the race, or just under, or just over rather. And well, that's a disaster for Fittipaldi. Sato and Piastri have reclaimed their grid positions of 3rd and 1st respectively. So interesting times at the front of the field. We'll see if we can join that party.
1.9 seconds.
But first we have some more overtaking to do down the inside, straight away on the restart, and we get ahead of Felipe Dragovic. So that is a perfect way to get this one restarted. We seem to be strong in these cold tyre phases.
No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care
of the race, so that is potentially another opportunity for us throughout the rest of this lap. Looking up ahead, we've got Christian Lundgaard now making a move on Enzo Fittipaldi. A little bit indecisive though, and Fittipaldi making him work for it. Fittipaldi holds on. Now we have an opportunity down the inside of Lundgaard, and he pays the price for the indecision. We get ahead of the Dane and move ourselves up another position and into 6th place now.
Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place.
And with Fittipaldi struggling for pace. Oh, radio.
No tyre concerns at the moment. Just focus on the driving.
Okay, we did get a bit close, just checking there's no damage to the car, but we're all good. But with Fittipaldi now struggling for pace, we may have an opportunity to gain another position here. So let's see what we can do as we're closing in to the Brazilian into turn 3, trying to carry some good speed on the exit. And now we'll see what we can do as we have a look to the inside. No, we're not going to make the move there. We're just going to be patient, and we'll wind up to make the overtake along the straight. We don't even need the help of the DRS, so all the inside line will be clear well before that, and we move ourselves ahead. DRS not enabled at the moment, as we have a bit of a moment in the braking zone, weaving back onto the racing line and then going a little bit deep, but we hold things together just about there and maintain the position, and that is us up into 5th, and that is Ralf Boschung out of the race with a mechanical failure. Unfortunate for the Swiss driver in the Campos. He won't be taking any further part in this one. So 5th place now, but unfortunately was not able to gain any more. I lost a lot of pace after that. I think I must have overused the tyres in that phase of the race, trying to make all those overtakes, and that's all we could manage. Meanwhile, the race has actually ended a lap early, and further up the road, Oscar Piastri is coming towards the line to take the victory. The 1 hour timer is up, or I think it might be 45 minutes for a sprint race. So yeah, we've taken too long with the safety car, and now around the final corner comes Oscar Piastri. He fights back, takes victory, and will take the championship lead as well. Well done, Oscar Piastri. We will come around the final corner, and after starting down in 16th, P5 ain't too bad, if I do say so myself.
Pick up rubber and bring it home.
Goodness me. What a fight back in that one. And we 100% needed that. We've limited the damage. Still got the feature race to come though.
That's a fantastic performance from Prema. It hardly looked in doubt. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
Although the Formula 2 cars are all the same spec, the winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition on track. They made it look easy out there today.
It looks like it's time for the victory ceremony once again, as I can see the drivers beginning to make their way out for the celebrations. You can see it on their faces. It's another marvellous team win for Prema today.
So it is Oscar Piastri who takes race victory here in Singapore and takes the championship lead with it. Great podium for Jack Aitken in second position, and Marino Sato hauling in the team's points in third.
And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Bernd Viscal. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
After all this drama, you would be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Alrighty then. Let's start by taking a run through the finishing order as we always do. Oscar Piastri, Jack Aitken, Marino Sato, followed by Marcus Armstrong, myself, Christian Lundgaard, Felipe Drugovich, Enzo Fittipaldi dropped all the way to 8th after taking the lead at turn 1. What a shame for Enzo Fittipaldi. 9th place and no points for Robert Schwartzman, and then rounding out the top 10 was Dan Ticktum. So that certainly does make things interesting in both the drivers and teams championships. Also notably, Marino Sato brought home the fastest lap of the race right at the end there, so fantastic stuff from Marino Sato to get that done. In terms of the drivers championship, what has that done for us? Well, you'll see Oscar Piastri now in the lead, and you'll see ourselves in second position if one was to look at the table, and we're 6 points behind. So we've gone from what was it, a 3-point lead to a 6-point deficit to Oscar Piastri. Third place, pretty much well and truly out of it now, that being Jane Deruvala, and he now sits a whopping 81 points behind Oscar Piastri. So yeah, I think that's actually mathematically impossible now. I think he is well and truly out of contention for this one. But the Sato-Schwartzman battle actually goes further in the way of Sato. After that race, he is sitting on 133 points, Schwartzman on just 120, so he's now 13 points ahead of Robert Schwartzman. In terms of the team's championship, despite having fairly average, qualifying, we actually extend our margin in the team's championship to 7 points. It was 4, so the steady drive, but solid drive from Sato to bring home a podium, as well as the comeback drive to 5th for us, was more than enough in this one to limit the damage and even extend the margin in the team's championship. But the next one will be much tougher. Let's get into it.
The tension and excitement in the air can only mean one thing. It's race day here in Singapore at the Marina Bay Street Circuit as we get set for another engaging Formula 2 race. Located in the heart of Singapore's Marina Bay, this bumpy street circuit is seen as one of the most physically demanding in motorsport. It can be a particularly technical circuit to navigate, one that has proved popular with fans and drivers alike. So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's results with a look at the starting grid. A fantastic effort from Daniel Ticktum yesterday puts him on pole position, with Robert Schwartzman alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Lawson, Drugovich, Marcus Armstrong and Lundgaard, Aitken, Sato, Fittipaldi, Oscar Piastri, Vips, for sure, David Beckman and Pourchaire, Zendelli, Viscal, Deleda and Guilherme Samaya, Boschon, Joe, Nissani and Jan Deruvala completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
I won't let you down. If you don't let me down somehow. I don't really know what he's going to do to let me down, but regardless, everyone in this race starting on the super soft tyres, so we will do the same and switch onto the softs later on. Of course, a pit stop required here in the feature race as we go to the 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the feature race here in Singapore. We squeeze to the inside as we head towards the first corner. We need to make moves early like we did last time, and we're going to be aggressive this time into the first corner. No hesitation at all, and it works for us. We've gained a bunch of places, and now we'll try and muscle our way through as we continue to push and shove, and that's us up all the way into 13th place. It's a great start for us here in the feature race in Singapore, so straight away trying to get back into the rhythm and trying to make these overtakes. Let's see what we can do as we head now.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of it.
Towards the next big braking zone down the inside of Piastri. We're making the move on Oscar Piastri and moving ourselves ahead. He's dropped 3 places from where he qualified, so it's been a disaster start again for Piastri, losing places twice in a row here in Singapore. That is not what he needed at the start of this one. It's been a great start for us, and we're already ahead of him. Of course, the Drivers' Championship is the #1 priority, so we're, trying to beat Piastri, and score points. That is the main target. We're already ahead of Piastri, so that gives us a great boost of confidence heading into the rest of this race, as we have already done part 1 of our objective. Now we just have to move ourselves into the points.
Vips is ahead of you. Piastri's behind. Okay, gap to leader, 4.3 seconds. And that's 13 laps now until your pit window's open. 34 laps to go.
But even if we can't score points for whatever reason, I imagine we will, because we had great pace in the previous race. As Dan Ticktum is in the lead. Just to check in on him and his fight with Schwartzman, it was Ticktum on pole, Schwartzman starting P2. They've remained that way for the moment, so that is good for us. Less points for Prema. There was obviously a good chance Schwartzman could take the lead into turn 1, as Piastri has just made the move on us, more or less in that fashion. But we'll see if we can get him back. We have a DRS zone coming up, so we have a good chance to come back at Oscar Piastri. But it's actually the end of the straight that gives us the good run, and now we make the move down the inside into the next right-hander, and we'll get the move done. But Piastri's still there on the inside. No, he can't keep the nose in, and he will back that one off and stay behind us. We'll remain ahead of Piastri for a little bit longer. So looks like we're struggling for pace a little bit as we make our way into pit lane. Not really a lot happening in the first stint of this race other than Piastri going for that one move on us. But yeah, we're really struggling for pace at the moment, and this is not what I expected, but we're losing time to everyone in front, so maybe it's just those tyres. We did, we're typically better on the harder compounds, so yeah, and perhaps it was just those super softs weren't suiting us, so we'll see how we go on the softs. These should suit us much better and should give us perhaps better performance versus everyone else on the same compound. So we'll see how it goes. We round the final couple of corners, wait for everyone else to make their stops and see where we re-emerge. I imagine we'll still be in 12th position where we were at the time we came into the pit lane, and we do resume that position.
Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 2.3 seconds.
But the car in front, 11 seconds up the road. Oh, what is that? That is Yuri Vips. Major engine failure there. Smoke pouring out everywhere. And Yuri Vips is out of the race. He was running in the top 10, so that's a position for us. As that is Richard Bashaw making his way past. He got a face full of smoke from the Vipsmobile. But that moves us up into 11th position. So maybe this is the inspiration we need. The points are just one position further up the road. Can we dig deep and find some more pace? Or is this all we've got? Maybe we just don't have it today. As we move on, I regret to say that is unfortunately the case. I really tried hard and well a bit too hard there. And it's a major loss of the rear end as we exit the right-hander, and we've lost a position there. Big lunge back down the inside. and we've regained that position as quickly as we lose it and move ourselves back up and into 11th place. But yeah, that was a desperate move there. I'm surprised that actually worked on Larim Zandelli, but we got it done. But yeah, we're just struggling for pace really badly at the moment. I don't know what's going on, but the car we had in the first race is not this one. Another big lose of the rear end there, and more time loss as Piastri tries to go around the outside. We go way too deep trying to defend, and Zandelli gets through. So yeah, our focus now is fully on stopping Piastri from getting past. If he gets past us, he may be able to chase down the cars in front and score points, as Samaya makes his way around the outside. As we were defending cars on the inside and outside there, here's the onboard with Piastri through all that. He quickly realised the inside line was an ever-closing door there, and wisely backed out of that. So yeah, we can all play on, and we will have a chance to go back down the inside of Samaya into the left-hander at the end of the big long straight, and that gives us a move around the outside potentially through the next right. This fight's going to continue on for a little while, but we get the move done eventually, and that is us back ahead of Samaya and moving ourselves into 12th position once again.
No tyre concerns at the moment.
So yeah, we continue this fight, then Samaya back down the inside into turn 1. Samaya's the one we're has fully stolen our attention at the moment, but we'll hold on once again. Piastri has backed off from this fight a little bit and is just hanging around in the background. Meanwhile, up the road, Dan Ticktum is going to be the one taking a race victory here in Singapore for the feature race. Schwartzman chasing him all the way to the end, but will fall just a few car lengths short of a major points benefit in the team's championship. He'll still get a nice decent chunk, but not what it could have been had his start been marginally better. So that's unfortunate for Schwartzman, but fortunate for us in a way, as we drift around the final corner. We crossed the line. We did actually beat Piastri there, despite what that looked like. But yeah, a disastrous race for us. We did beat Piastri, but no points for either of us, so doesn't make much difference in the end. Tough race.
So as they climb out of the car, the Carlin team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
The difference was in the strategy. Credit to the driver for sure, but races like this really drive home how much of a team sport this is. They did a lot of work on the pit wall to really make the most of each stint and to make the best use of these tires. But that said, all of that would have been for nothing without a talented hand on the wheel.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and I can see the Carlin team underneath our commentary box going crazy as their driver walks out. It was a great win, and it means a great deal to this team.
So it's a great race victory for Dan Ticktum, who finishes just a few car lengths ahead of Robert Schwartzman in second, with Liam Lawson making his way onto the podium in third.
And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
It's got to be Larim Zandelli. He was fast, aggressive, everything a top-class driver needs.
After all this drama, you would be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Alrighty, race rundown time. Dan Ticktum, Robert Schwartzman, Liam Lawson, Marcus Armstrong, Jack Aitken, Felipe Drogovic, Christian Lundgaard, Enzo Fittipaldi, Marino Sato 9th, and Richard Verschoor rounding out the top 10. So Sato scoring 2 points for us, and it was Robert Schwartzman with the fastest lap in this one. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Oscar Piastri obviously maintains the same margin he did before, 6 points ahead of us. But in terms of the Sato-Schwartzman battle, Schwartzman moves himself back ahead, scoring a massive 140 points in the championship so far, just 5 ahead of Sato. So that also means to say that Prema have retaken the lead in the Teams Championship by 11 points. So how things have swung around in weird ways this weekend, but that's the way it goes. 11 points, it really isn't much. So this championship could still easily go either way in both the drivers and teams. You know, if we win the feature race, that's immediately 7 points over Piastri if he finishes second. So it can change that quickly. And in terms of the teams championship, it's, you know, much the same. So, or it's even more changeable because you have both drivers to account for, which very much you know, played a role this weekend. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the season ends. One final round to go in Abu Dhabi. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait to see how round 14 of 14 plays out. But that is all for this one. So I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. As always, they're very helpful. Other than that, I will see you next time for the final round. Don't miss it. I'll see you then.